Well, staying with that story, and according to the report by the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, the biggest rise in home buyer activity is in the West Midlands and the North East. Martin Wainwright is an estate agent in Redditch in the West Midlands, and Allan Cook is from Durham Gate Development in Spennymoor in County Durham. We can also hear from Peter Phillips, an estate agent from Merthyr Tydfil, where house prices are among the lowest in the country. And Susan Emmett, Director of Residential Research at the estate agent Savills, is here in the studio. Martin Wainwright, to you first. The West Midlands, one of the areas that suffered the most as a result of the crash. Are things looking up?
Yeah, I think it's obviously a little too soon to say that we're around the corner from recovery, but certainly early indications at the moment are some very positive activity.
Yeah, I mean, figures, West Midlands house prices up 3.1% according to the Office for National Statistics. Are you finding people are feeling more confident?
Yeah, I think there's been quite a lot of confidence in the last 12, 18 months or so, particularly from the buy-to-let sector. A lot of investors have known that it's a great time to get onto the ladder buy properties, maybe increase their portfolio because the rental market is so buoyant. But particularly the last 3-6 months or so, interest rates being so low, incentives for first-time buyers, we have started to see a lot more first-time buyers come back into the marketplace also.
OK, Allan Cook in County Durham for us. Allan, you're building a development of, 160 properties. How are things for you?
Well, it started off very difficult a couple of years ago when we acquired the site. We bought it right at the top of the market, but we always saw it as a long-term project. It's not 160, we're actually building 160 now. We set off to build 380, and we've had such a good response, particularly over the recent 3 months, 6 months. We're now extending that to more like 500 homes. So there's certainly some early signs of recovery, but it's about keeping prices very, very competitive and delivering a high quality product for that price.
How much has the Help to Buy scheme aided you, do you think?
Well, we haven't actually had anybody use the scheme directly yet. However, we're now starting to hear people come into the site who are aware of it, and it's certainly helping with them getting their own mortgages. You know, before we used to get quite a lot of people interested in a house. They were happy with the quality of the property, they were happy with the price, but their difficulty, the sales always stumbled when they went to get mortgage finance. That certainly seems to be improving now, and I think the government are sending the right signals from central government, but more importantly for us at Durham Gate, it was about our kind of local authority and the Homes and Communities Agency assisting the project in general terms.
And of course, the site where you're developing used to be a factory that closed down. Lots of jobs lost in the area. Is there the market? Is there the money there for housing?
Yeah, I think as well as it's a 60-acre site, so as well as the housing that we're doing, which is approximately 30 acres of that, the other half of the site we're using to bring high-quality jobs back to the area. So as well as the housing, we're building just under 500,000 square feet of office space and some retail there to support the local area, a small shop and that kind of thing. So it's a mixed-use development. But I think in terms of jobs, there are jobs in the area. It's not easy. Everybody knows it's not easy. But we've managed to secure a headquarters office occupier here, and there's 160 jobs there. We're talking to another occupier now with 180 jobs. So there's a balance. It's housing as well as jobs, obviously.
OK. And Peter Phillips in Merthyr Tydfil. Wales has recorded the strongest annual growth of the UK nations at 4.3%. Is that your experience in Merthyr Tydfil?
Well, we've certainly seen an improvement in the housing market. There's a lot of property coming onto the market and a lot of sales are taking place. But I am a little bit sceptical about this report. Because a lot of people in the town and surrounding areas are still finding it hard with their jobs and their cost of living. And we are seeing that properties are more or less on a straight line. They are getting better, but it's going to take a while.
Susan Emmett here in the studio with me. Is this good news for everybody?
Well, it's optimistic, isn't it? We've seen quite a number of reports out this year pointing that house prices are rising again. But I think that the thing to remember is that we're starting from a very low base, right? So if we look at the market overall, the level of transactions and the level of mortgage approvals are still well below where they were at peak. So we've still got a really long way to go. But this is reassuring. It's a start.
House price rises at fast rates, but what about wage rises? Are we going to see people being priced out of the market?
I think there are a lot of people already priced out of the market, actually. Affordability is quite stretched, and people who manage to borrow are having to borrow quite high income multiples in order to be able to get on the ladder.
You talk about people managing to buy. What about mortgage availability? Is that getting any better than it was?
It is improving, actually. I think the funding for lending, the government scheme, has helped a lot. We have seen an increase in availability of mortgages, particularly to first-time buyers. So it has helped, and rates have stayed down. And now we heard from the Governor of the Bank of England that rates are expected to stay down for the next 3 years. However, first-time buyers, well, buyers in general, are still expected to stump up quite big deposits. So, you do have to save quite a lot. And this is at a time when you're paying quite high rents as well. So it's not that easy.
There has been concern among some, hasn't there, that the Help to Buy scheme is helping more first-time buyers enter the market, but perhaps creating a bubble.
Well, the Help to Buy scheme isn't aimed solely at first-time buyers, actually. It's a much wider scheme than anything we've seen before.
And it's being expanded in January.
It's being expanded in January, and what we heard this morning, actually, was that so far, since March, there have been 10,000 reservations. So it's having an effect, actually, and the good news is that house builders have said that they intend to increase house building as a result of this demand, which, I'd say is quite needed. We do need more homes, so that's been very positive. The bigger part of the Help to Buy scheme, the mortgage guarantee scheme, doesn't come into play until January, and that's not aimed at new build, that's aimed at the entire market, and that could have a much, much bigger effect.
OK, Susan Emmett, thank you very much. Also thanks to Peter Phillips in Merthyr Tydfil, Allan Cook in County Durham, and Mark Wainwright in Redditch.